Bismillah. What? Salatu wasalam Rasulullah wa ba'da name of Allah, with the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateads, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love and no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a hell of haters up in this piece. And boy, when it rains, it pours, don't it? I mean, damn. Like what in his Zell is going on? Actually, you know what? We weren't really surprised here on the Feachaz. My day ones know, and the longtime watchers, they know as well that we foretold, once again, Negro Thomas, he foretold that this situation could actually happen way back when Andrew Tate was talking about, he was running for prime minister and stuff. We mentioned in that particular live that there is a very real chance that he will appeal to the Trump administration to get him out of his situation. We said that, and I said, I mean, and the way that the the Romanian government was moving at a turtle's pace and whatnot was just increasing the likelihood that somehow, some way, somewhere, some scheme will be pulled out in order for the Tates to be released from prison. And it would have nothing to do with their guilt or their innocence or anything like that. So we was calling this, a while back. Y'all hear me? We were saying this a while back. So it turns out, family, that once again we was right. One more again, we were right. I wish somebody would come, go dig through. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a daunting task, because we kind of all over the place sometimes, but somebody would just kind of dig into all of these predictions we make and just make a whole thing about them, man. Right? Because this one is pretty crazy, right? This one's pretty crazy. Like if my day ones know, if you've been watching, long time watching, and this is something that we predicted, and it just happened to happen. It just happened to happen. So if y'all don't know what it is, right, let me just show y'all, okay, so we can get down to the nitty gritty. Let me show y'all. Okay, like, subscribe, share me on Patreon, family, and press number 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. If the sound is good, press number 1 in the chat. I know we're doing a little bit early today, right? So I know some of y'all will catch this when you get home from work and whatnot, right? But those of you all across the pond and stuff, you're getting a treat today. You are getting a treat today. Okay, watch this, y'all. 1 second, family. Let me just get this all queued up. All right. So this is a tweet put out by Murder by Crowns. Now, Murder by Crowns, he is one of the foremost investigators, you can say, with regards to the Tate case. He's been following up. He's an actual lawyer out there in the States somewhere, right? And he released this. He goes, breaking. He said breaking. He said breaking. Okay. In a stunning display of a high-level political corruption, Romania caved to U.S. pressure and granted the Tate brothers travel privileges, allowing them to travel to the United States of America. Anyways, all this does for us, really, family, it just shows for us, those of you who are on this side, it just proves that everything we're talking about, how this alt-right element is trying to usurp control, and these folks are looking for loyalists and whatnot, and they're using these platforms in order to influence the masses to carry out their very pointed, specific, fascist agendas. All this is prove it. All this does is prove it. Imagine a U.S. government, and again, we're saying like you don't have a government anymore in the U.S. So I'm sorry to say, but this is facts. What you have now is some of the world's richest oligarchs who are raiding the coffers of the U.S. government to enrich themselves, and they are playing the every single white supremacist talking point and pulling your heartstrings, your hateful heartstrings, in order to get support, garner support for their agendas. And if this ain't proof, nothing will prove it. This is as clear as day to me. So when this happened, we have been getting reports from all over the place. The first we're going to do is we're going to watch this video, y'all. We're going to react to this video, and then we're going to get into some of the reports, okay? Because this is some madness, and we got time today, family. So everybody is invited. Let's get down to it. Let me just come in here and share this one. 1 second, family. So this is from Times Radio. Okay, we're going to watch this from Times Radio, family. Watch this, family. Watch this, y'all, from Times Radio. Okay. Let's see what they got to say.
Another story that's developing is that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been allowed to leave Romania and head for the US. Times Radio's Hugo Rifkin will be here at 10 o'clock. He's interviewed Andrew Tate. Joins us now. Hugo, morning.
Morning.
What do you think's happened here, though? Because they were involved very much in the Romanian justice system. They've got claims against them in the UK justice system.
Yes, the US has been lobbying for Romania to give them their passports back, and it seems that they have done. And now they've got their passports back. They got on a private plane and flew to the US. Why Donald Trump's administration thinks this is a good use of their time? So I mean, it's not like he's Alexei Navalny. You know, he's not Gandhi. He's Andrew Tate, and irrespective of whether the precise things that he's under investigation for from Romania are things that he would end up being convicted of, it's just baffling to me that the White House administration thinks that this is a good use of their time.
It's because it's not the White House administration anymore. Okay. That's why you were talking about some hardcore, the most corest white supremacists since the Nazis, since slavery, who have essentially wrote up this Project 2025, and they are looking for influencers. That's why they got themselves some Elon Musk. That's why they got themselves some Sundar Pichai, and that's why they got themselves some Mark Zuckerberg, because they are trying to control the entire infrastructure behind the worldwide influence. And it was y'all, the immigrant Muslims, that really made Andrew Tate as popular as he is today. That you couldn't get yourself enough of Zaddy, and man, the warfare is becoming clearer and clearer and clearer by the second. But I digress. That's just my 2 cents. Let's keep watching, family.
He has been. I mean, what he's been accused of is not little things.
What he's been accused of is ghastly. It's human trafficking and various forms of sexual assault. I mean, he's an anti-feminist influencer. You know, he's not the things he's accused of thinking and saying are pretty solid, because he's thought and said them on video. He has a right to say those things. When I interviewed him, we discussed that extensively. It is pretty odd, though, that Donald Trump would be like, this is the fight I want to have.
And also, presumably, he's out of that.
Yeah. You know who else has been accused of all that stuff? Donald Trump, Elon Musk. Okay. Who else? Who else is on the Trump administration? Let me just pull this up. 1 second, y'all. The Trump administration is accused of the stuff that Andrew Tate is. In terms of because we're trying to remain monetized. We're trying to remain monetized, okay? So we don't want to say too much. But Donald Trump was, as he put it in his own words, very close friends with the world's most infamous human trafficker in Jeffrey Epstein. Which is why I think this is one of the reasons why he basically pressured Romania to give the Tates their passports back. Now we're going to get into details about that afterwards as well. So don't let me forget, right, why I think this, right? But all of this is coming out today. So let's keep watching, you. Hold on. Before we continue watching, I want to see something first. 1 second, family. 1 second, family. Like, this is some madness. But surprising, but not really surprising. If you watch a channel, you know you're not really surprised anyways. Because like I said, we already predicted something like this would happen. We said that something like this would happen. We didn't put it past the Trump administration at all that they would do that, something like this. And they just happen to do it. So let's watch this, y'all. Look at this. Watch this, family. This is the Trump administration. Okay, this is from The Guardian. Okay, let's look what it says. Trump's White House is filling with alleged sexual abusers led by him. Okay. And we actually did an entire thing about this. And we mentioned some of the names. And some of the names I didn't even know, right? Because I mentioned a few names, but there are actually more names that are in this article that we didn't mention, right? So look here. Donald Trump was found civilly liable last year of defamation and sexual abuse by writer E. Jean Carroll. Just one more than 27 women, 27, okay? That's the president, okay? Who have accused him of sexual misconduct. On January 2025, he will again be the president of the United States, the first to take office in a court-educated history of sex crimes. Okay, and it seems that he's eager to pack the White House with such people like him. Okay. Okay, 4 of the president-elect's cabinet-level nominees have faced serious allegations of sexual misconduct, ranging from workplace sexual harassment, assault, to the 5th embroilment of sexual abuse-related lawsuit. As Americans brace themselves for a Trump 2.0, it's time to be clear-eyed about the mega machine. The history of sexual criminality isn't a bug. It's a central part of the hardware. They are saying it's a central part of the hardware. That's what we're saying. We're saying it's a central part of the hardware. We are saying that this is the type of folks that they want. They want these type of folks. Y'all hear me? They want to push this type of stuff. Remember, we mentioned, I think, in the live, we're talking about the moranosphere and the chickens coming home to roost, and we were saying that, pardon me, that white supremacy and all of its apparatus is filled with human traffickers and these type of things, right? Grooming gangs, and we were saying the world's most long-standing grooming gang in history is the Catholic Church. These are the ones who initiated the religiosity behind white supremacy, the Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Church. They are the ones who essentially push the narrative that black folks are the cursed seed of Canaan, and that white folks are this godly, angelic beings created by God, true humans. Jesus is white, angels is white, saints is white. It's them. It's the Catholic Church. They are the ones who started all this stuff, right? And the entire church embraced it. They all embraced it. And we know that they are the most prolific grooming gang in history, because their own history says it. And if you don't believe us, you can ask the Aboriginals in Australia. Ask them about their Catholic boarding schools. Ask the Filipinos. Ask the indigenous of Canada and America about boarding schools. Ask them. Ask the black folks who are descendants of chattel slavery. Ask them. They encourage not just grooming, but rapisting as a form of colonization. They're the ones who taught this to the world, okay? They're the ones who are doing this. Donald Trump is good. He's a good friend of mine, Jeffrey Epstein, right? World's most infamous sexual trafficker in history, Jeffrey Epstein, right? He's good friends with him. Then he has folks like Elon Musk, right, who was accused. I'm just saying right here, Elon Musk, who Trump has tapped, made a position for the efficiency czar, right? Reportedly exposed his wee-wee, okay, to a SpaceX flight attendant in 2016 and offered to buy her a horse in exchange for some hot, okay. This is Elon Musk. Okay. What else do they have in here? Robert F. Kennedy was accused of assaulting Eliza Cooney, a former family babysitter in the 90s. And then we talked about whatchamacallit, Jeff Gates and all these Pixman. So it's not surprising that Donald Trump is all in with Andrew Tate, especially since Andrew Tate has a hella lot of influence. And his influence has waned since his court case. All the information came out about his court case. It has waned and whatnot. But guess who came to save Andrew Tate? Can somebody put it in the chat, please? Who were the folks that were saving Andrew Tate's reputation through and through? Even though receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt, 75,000 pages of evidence came out against the Tate brothers. 75,000. But who were the ones that are coming to his defense day and night? Day and night. Somebody put it in the chat, please. Then we're going to continue here, right? So anyways, you can see here that Donald Trump, he likes these types because he is that type. He is a trafficker type. He's a human trafficker type. His wife, his current wife, okay, Melania Trump, in which he married from the same type of networking that these billionaires have with these traffickers. Y'all hearing me? But I digress, man. Let's keep watching, y'all. Let's get back to this here. Look here. Thank you. The Muslim Da'ilis, the Utopian Da'ilis, they're the ones who are defending him. Despite the mountains of evidence against him. Let's watch this, y'all. Yep. Muhammad Ijab, Daniel, Eddie from the D show is actually, he's the worst of all of them, to be honest. Eddie from the D show, he can't stop clapping it up for Andrew Tate. He cannot stop, rubbing the honey all over his belly and putting baby oil in his titty, mashing his titties together for Andrew Tate. He can't stop it. He can't. It's like every chance he get, he got to twerk it up for the Tatesman. But I digress. Let's keep watching, Joe.
He's gone now. Once he gets to America, he's not coming back to Romania, I wouldn't have thought.
America's not going to extradite him back again. It's funny, when I met him in Romania, we talked about why he was in Romania. And his line then that he'd said a lot was he was in Romania because it was corrupt. And if you were rich, you could get away with anything. And I guess maybe Washington, is a better prospect for such people these days.
Exactly. Andrew Tate was 150% right on that. Okay. He got it spot on. Okay, he got it spot on when it came to Romania. Y'all hearing me? However, as corrupt as Romania is, and we can see that Romania is quite corrupt after all this, they ain't got nothing on the current alleged U.S. administration. These folks, again, they are not nationalists. They're not patriots. They are robber barons. And y'all are going to have some very, very hard time, especially even in Canada, because of what's going on in the States. We're going to have some hard times in the West. Right? These times are coming. Okay. But I digress. Let's keep watching, y'all.
So the only conclusion we can draw, it's still happening now, but the only conclusion we can draw is that someone in the Trump administration, potentially all the way up to Trump himself, thought we want Andrew Tate out of Romania and we're going to make it happen.
Yes, and it's not like he disappears now. You know, he's going to be active in the US. He's going to be active in US politics. He's going to keep talking. He's going to keep doing what he does with a sort of with a sense of sort of, you know, massive impunity. I mean, he may try and sort of reinvent himself as a more responsible kind of figure, although he tried to do that a couple of years ago and it didn't really work.
And you don't. And when you've met him, you don't strike him. He doesn't strike you as someone who wants to do that.
I mean, he's bright. He's ambitious. He's rich, although not as rich as he says he is. He does seem to feel the.
He's the world's first trillionaire. Remember that? He's the world's first trillionaire. Let's keep watching, man.
Law of sort of pretty horrible sexualized talk that he goes back to pretty quickly whenever he tries to reinvent himself.
And that was important enough, someone like that to get back to America, that was important enough for Donald Trump, is the lesson of the morning.
So it seems to be, yeah.
Great to speak to you, Hugo. Look forward to your show at 10 o'clock. Hugo Rifkin interviewed Andrew Tate there. And this is the practical diplomacy of Donald Trump. He says some things that he wants. He doesn't care about international rules. And it's not impossible this could come up at the press conference, Kate, you think, and that if Starmer gets asked about that, Starmer the lawyer, Starmer where there's a UK case against Andrew Tate, he'll have a very different response to Trump.
Yeah, I think this could be really difficult if it does come up today. We don't know yet fully what the involvement of President Trump's administration is, although, as you say, it was reported 10 days ago that they were pressing the Romanian government to lift those travel restrictions. If it does emerge that Trump has had some hand in this, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does get to ask a question today in that press conference on this. It would put the Prime Minister in a really difficult position. But equally, you know, as you say, he's a pragmatist. He's somebody who's wedded to the rule of law. It's the same on the Chagos deal.
Yeah.
If Trump says no, don't like it, rip it up, I mean, it is not really, it's not sustainable to say that Keir Starmer could just pretend there isn't a legal case here, because he's been very clear in Parliament and outside of it. The reason he's doing this deal is because the legal system says without it, it's not, you can't keep the base.
You've been a journalist in that type of environment. Would you think, should I ask a question about, you know, we've got everything going on with Ukraine and minerals and war and peace and life and death. Should I ask a question about Andrew Tate, even though a question about Andrew Tate actually reveals something really critical about how Trump sees the world? Would there be an internal battle as a journalist for you to say, does it look like I'm wasting the only question I'm ever going to get here?
We could talk for hours about how you work out what kind of question you should ask. The judgment is always, what will my audience care most about? And second to that is, which of these questions am I actually going to get an answer to? Because there might be some questions, and this is true in interviews, where you know it's a very important question, but if you ask it, you are not going to get an answer. Yeah. And people will hear that and think, oh, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? So it's a judgment call, and it's not an easy one.
No, it's not easy.
Well, the problem with all this thinking is that you're thinking in terms of the social contract still being intact. The social contract has been clearly not only just violated, but ripped up and torn to shreds. So you need to look at this in terms of warfare. The Project 2025 people, they are looking for propaganda. They are not looking for a pushback. And as a matter of fact, they're looking to quell anything that resembles pushback in favor of propaganda, which is why journalists are being pushed out, kicked out. I believe this is very obvious. And if folks now, if they get their news exclusively from places like X, or Twitter, or whatever, places like Facebook, and places like YouTube. If that's where they get their news exclusively, then they are not only are they the new corporate media, but they are far more dangerous than corporate media ever was or ever could have been. Because all of these social media, platforms have been consolidated, and they have essentially kissed the ring of the Agenda 2025, Project 2025, and MAGA Trump acolytes, the cult. That's it. Everybody's following suit. You have world leaders mimicking and imitating Donald Trump. What's going on here in Canada now, since Donald Trump got elected, and since he started just arbitrarily out of the blue doing these tariffs and stuff, it caused a shift in the political paradigm that we have over here. Because we were saying for years that the conservatives are going to win, but we couldn't have possibly anticipate that Donald Trump would be so aggressive against Canada, which now the Canadians are starting looking at the conservatives with the side eye, which is causing the Liberal Party now to garner steam. You see where I'm going with this? So the idea that you are talking to somebody who is civil and interested in civil discourse is ridiculous. You should treat them as they are. You should treat them as hostile enemies. But everybody looking for an interview, everybody looking to get their questions asked and answered, and all these folks are doing at the White House, they're looking for yes men and cheerleaders. You get me? Let's keep watching, y'all.
That's the question, I think, how much credit one should accurately give Donald Trump is, I think, the most interesting question almost of the next 4 years. We had a former colleague of his say, either what he says will be headlines in history or there'll be footnotes to history because something actually significant happens. Martin, you work in the world of football, where you have big characters, big egos, where how alpha you are, how tough you are, presumably matters. So, and that must matter in changing rooms. It must matter at press conferences. What have you learned about the alpha world here?
This is not the alpha world. Have you ever seen John Mulaney's Netflix special when he described Trump? There's a horse loose in the hospital, and that was he had this whole bit about there's a horse loose in the hospital, and it was his way of trying to explain Trump. And like you're looking at it and go, well, there's no precedent for this, and they've got experts coming in. This is a guy that saw a bird in an airport once. Go away! Everyone's seen a bird in an airport. It's a horse in a hospital, and that's where you are. You know, he's surrounded like somebody that is really, really close to him. Gave what may or
we have seen this before. The closest thing that we've seen to Donald Trump in history is actually Adolf Hitler. All right, so we have seen this before. That's the closest thing we've had to Donald Trump. And if you want to understand what Donald Trump is doing, you don't have to look much further than Adolf Hitler. Except in this case, Donald Trump is more like a vice Adolf Hitler, the real leader of the United States. Somebody put in the chat, please. Who is really running the United States government in the chat? I don't want to say it. I want you all to say it. Who is really running the United States government today? Okay, if you have to pick one individual, who would it be? Somebody put in the chat, please.
may not have been a Nazi salute. You know, what are you meant to do with that? What are you meant to do with that stuff? He could turn around and offer to buy wows. Yeah. You know, what you don't know.
This isn't about alpha. This isn't about alpha.
There's no precedent for it. It's not just alpha. It's so random. I mean, what Esther said there about the Gaza video and things like that. We're not in Kansas anymore. We really aren't. I mean, it's you don't know how you would play it. You've got
exactly. It's Elon. It's Elon. Elon is the one who's running the U.S. government today. It's the South African robber baron Elon Musk. He's the one who is running the U.S. government. Now, do you think that he's going to run the U.S. government, in a professional manner, or will he run it pretty much essentially as his companies, as a personal bank? You know what I mean? What do you think? He's already making up all these crazy contracts. Elon Musk signed this contract to have Teslas for the U.S. Army and all kind of craziness. He already made a government contract for Starlink to do the safety in the FAA or something like this, man. We'll get into all that stuff. But I know I know you think it's sidetracking, but it's not sidetracking. It's not sidetracking. These folks have weaponized influence, and they have essentially used influence against the people who allegedly are following them. You get me? So I digress. Let's keep watching, y'all. Let's keep watching. We're going to get into it today.
One would imagine, you've just got to think on your feet. You've just got to respond to whatever is suddenly in front of you, because things could suddenly be in front of you.
Well, for example, we're saying that Andrew Tate was whisked away from on a plane from Romania to the US, and Kate was saying, a canny journalist, a UK journalist, could ask them a question about that. They could say, "What do you think of Andrew Tate?" And that's Andrew Tate. If they ask Donald Trump, "What do you think of Andrew Tate?" and he says, "He's a great man, I'm glad to get him back in this country," you then go to the former DPP when there's a live case against Andrew Tate in this country and say, "What do you think of it?" That's a hell of a thing to have to think about on your feet.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I mean, Andrew Tate's a bit of a kind of toxic byword for some.
For y'all who don't know, he's talking about the case that's going on against Andrew Tate in Britain. Okay. Now, the deal was with Romania is that when the case finishes in Romania, the Tates were supposed to be extradited to the UK to fulfill their litigious obligations there in Britain. Okay, that was the whole deal. So they're supposed to finish the trial. If they were convicted in Romania, they're supposed to fulfill their convictions in Romania, then get extradited to the UK to go through their trials in the UK. And I'm going to say here right now today that even that is not going to happen. I'm going to say that's not going to happen. Not no more. Okay. Right. Tate's ain't going back to Romania. They're not going back to the UK. If they went back to the UK, they would go back to the UK to fulfill their political ambitions with the help of what is left of the shambles that you call the U.S. or what I rather say the Elon Musk government. It's not the U.S. government anymore. Okay, it's the Elon Musk government, and he will use the full power of your taxpayer money, all right, to make sure that the Tates get into power in the UK if they were going to go back there. That's the only scenario that they would actually go back to the UK. You think they're going to go back to Romania? You are tripping. And we're going to get into that in a minute because there were some caveats to the trip from Romania to UK. Okay, so we're back. It looks like we lost connection with her for a second, so we're back now. 1 second, y'all.
Certain things, but in the end, I mean, I think Andrew Tate is a kind of red herring, and I slightly wish, I mean, no disrespect, but I do slightly wish people would stop talking about him and stop giving him so much credit for stuff. I mean, he's a slightly broken person, and it's all gone a bit horribly wrong. I think he only wanted to, be a bit of a grifter on YouTube for a bit, and now he's kind of under house arrest and in prison and stuff. And I just think he's
potentially the president of the United States may have got him on a plane out of Romania. He is becoming.
Yeah, but I think I just think this is like quite small fry, and I think that I think you should be really looking at the bigger picture. The fact is Donald Trump going to upset the people, his voters or not? Are his voters going to go along with this or not? And I do think there has been backlash from his own supporters on that really hilarious.
I think this lady's delusional. Sorry, I think she's delusional. I don't know what she's talking about here. Couple of things, family. Donald Trump, he don't care about his voters. He already won the election, which means that he pretty much got everything that he wanted. Okay. He don't care about the base. He hasn't cared about the base since he started the terrorists. Since he allowed whatchamacallit, the B1 visas. He hasn't cared about the base since then. Since he allowed the Doge machine to go in and cut off millions and billions of dollars of tax or Congress-led programs for United States citizens. Farmers are losing their homes. People who voted for Trump are all over TikTok and Facebook talking, I voted for Trump, and I lost my farm and I lost my business. And construction workers, I lost my business. I voted for Trump, I lost my business. Construction companies, all kind of from Florida, from Mississippi, you name it, Arizona. They don't care about the base anymore, right? This is a Project 2025, agenda now. So he don't care about that stuff no more. He is selling every blade of grass in the United States to the highest bidder. That's what he cares about. And that's what he's been about since day one. So congratulations. That take is a little bit, not a little bit, it's just really delusional, really. Right. So anyways, let's watch this, y'all. 1 second, family. Where are we here? So this is a post from Gadget. Okay, so Gadget, he says, press release by Tate regarding the decision to allow Andrew Tate and Tristan to travel to the U.S. Following the interest shown by media representatives of Information and Public Relations Office within the Directive for the Investigation of Organized Crime, this is Tate, and Terrorism, Tate, is authorized to inform the public of the following. Regarding the two defendants, persons of dual citizenship, American and British, who are under judicial control of the criminal cases which are being investigated by Tate, central structure prosecute, Where are we? I just lost it. Prosecutors will be making the following clarification. The request to revoke the derivative measure of judicial control was rejected, and this being maintained in both cases in which criminal prosecution is being carried out. Okay, so essentially they're saying that the prosecution is going to carry on as it was before. They're not stopping the prosecution. The request regarding modification of obligation imposed by the defendants not to leave the territory of Romania was admitted. The other obligation being maintained by the Tate prosecutors, including the one regarding the appearance before judicial bodies, upon which summons, which the warning of bad faith violation of obligation incumbent on them may lead to replacement of judicial control with higher measure of deprivation of liberty. So basically, they're saying if they don't come back, you're going to get in trouble. If you don't come back, you're going to get in trouble. Okay. It was Tate. We like to point out that throughout the entire criminal trial, persons under conviction benefit from the procedural rights and guarantees provided by the Code of Criminal Procedure, as well as from the presumption of innocence. Okay. So essentially, the Tate is saying that this is a temporary, leave for the Tates, and they have to come back to Romania to fulfill their judicial obligations. And if it don't, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to be in big trouble. That's what they say. I'm like, what? Family, you know how little meaning this has? Who right now, which, leader in the world right now has an international arrest warrant against him, international arrest warrant from the International Criminal Courts, meaning that anybody who participates in the ICC, International Criminal Court, any country, which including the U.S., okay, includes Canada, includes all of Europe, Okay. If you catch this person in your country, you are obligated to arrest them. Which world leader has this warrant and just happens to be the first person to be invited to the United States of America after the Trump administration won their election? Does anybody know who that leader is? Somebody put it in the chat, please. Just somebody put it in the chat, please. Okay? Y'all are tripping. Exactly. It's Bibi. So they ain't finna to arrest Bibi, right? Whose crimes are far more severe. I mean, far more severe, far more recorded. You know, you think they finna to punish Tate? Tate is going to toe the line just like Trump told the line. He's going to kiss. He already kissed the ring, anyways, right? And he's going to be doing as he is told, right? So all that means a whole bunch of nothing. Y'all are tripping, man. Look at here. This is from Gadget again, okay? It has now been revealed that Andrew Tate and Andrew Tristan Tate will be allowed to travel to the U.S. as temporary, right? He's put it in all caps, and they must return to Romania by March 25th with family reasons cited as the reason for the temporary lift. The Tates reported recently that their U.S.-based grandmother passed away, which may be related. If y'all believe that the Tates are going to go back to Romania by the 25th, then, you know, I got some wet water to sell you. You know what I'm saying? I got some fresh air to sell y'all. If you believe that. The Tates reported recently that their U.S.-based grandmother had passed away, which may be related. According to the cited sources, Andrew and Tristan Tate reasoned that going to the U.S. would be related to the serious families problems that they want to solve. The DICOT prosecutors' agreement to temporarily lift part of judicial control the Tate brothers' ban leaving in Romania is an unexpected decision. You damn straight it's unexpected, okay? But not really. It's unexpected, but really not really. We were kind of guessing that this would happen, right? Yeah. So hold on, yo. Tate brothers banned leaving Romania's unexpected decision after almost 2.5 years in which they were not allowed to leave the country. Okay. 1 second, family. Let me just close some of these out. Just close this one out. Oh my gosh. Watch this, y'all. Okay, from the BBC. Andrew Tate says he and his brother are largely misunderstood after arriving in the US. Largely misunderstood. Largely misunderstood. Y'all are tripping, man. Anyways. Do they have a video? Let's watch a video. Oh, it's just them arriving in the States. Is it?
Andrew, how are you, Andrew? Listen. We live in a democratic society where it's innocent until proven guilty, and I think my brother and I are largely misunderstood. There's a lot of opinions about us, a lot of things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever. We have no criminal record anywhere on the planet ever. Our case was dismissed on the 19th of December in Romania under the Biden.
Oh my gosh.
Our prosecutor recently decided.
That's a lie. The case wasn't dismissed. That's just a bold-faced lie. But let's keep watching, y'all. But it might as well be dismissed now that they're in Florida.
Because we have no active indictment in court to let us go and return. This is a democratic society. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, as my brother and I are. And I think it's extremely important that we stop allowing media spin, wrap-up smears, lies, or carefully constructed narratives from George Soros-funded operations trying to destroy the reputations of good people who have...
George Soros ain't funding squat, man. All your crimes you put out there yourself. Okay, you was out there self-snitching like a drill rapper, bro. Self-snitching like a drill rapper. Does anybody know somebody who basically fueled the fire to some London riots based upon a lie? Does anybody know anybody like this? And it wasn't just a lie. It was like an egregious lie. Anybody know somebody who did that? And this egregious lie went viral and was used as fuel to the fire in some London, UK riots. Does anybody know somebody like that by any chance? Somebody put in the chat if y'all know who I'm talking about.
No intention to do anything other than follow the law.
They have no intention to do anything other than follow the law. Wow. Who believes this stuff? Anyways, in our time, the lies are so cartoonish, as we mentioned before, that it's very easy to see who the enemy is. Anybody who takes this side has to be the enemy because the lies are just out there. They're ridiculous. So if you are accepting the liar and the lies, what you are essentially saying, yeah, I sold out. I sold out to the powers that shouldn't be because they're the ones who are in power. So we are going to continue empowering the powers that shouldn't be because we're getting bones and biscuits and all kinds of stuff. We're getting fried chicken and watermelon. You know, we have graduated from eating chitlins and stuff. That's all you're saying. Just give it a buck. Let's keep watching, y'all. Let's go to another one. 1 second, family. This one was crazy. This one right here was really crazy. Okay. So, murder by crayons again. Okay. Dicot has returned a significant amount of seized assets to the Tate brothers. Did y'all catch that? Dicot returned the assets. If they return the assets and the Tate brothers are already in Florida, does this sound like some folks that are planning to go back to Romania to you? Huh? Does it sound like these are folks that are going back to Romania to you? Look at here. Real estate properties. 5 land properties fully owned. 1 land property owned in a 2551 share. An Audi A5. A Nissan Murano. These are kind of like older cars. All right, so I don't know about that. Lada 1500. Mercedes-Benz V-Class. Okay, that's a newer car. Okay, Audi RS7 Sportback 2020. Ferrari 488 GT. Look at this, man. Bank accounts. All previously frozen bank accounts have been unfrozen. Y'all catching this? They're going to throw out the case. They're not going to throw it out. I don't think they're going to throw it out. What they are essentially saying is, you two little bones and biscuits don't come back. Right? That's what they're saying. Don't even bother coming back because you're going to put us even more trouble. Right? We accepted the deal from the devil to make sure that you devils can get out, and now just get out and stay out. And then Romania can then save face and oh, we had this deal of trust and blah blah blah. When we trust the deal, they'll trust the deal, and then they broke it. That's what I think is going to happen. Right? The case will probably end up in Dubai or whatever, and then you're going to find every single YouTuber and that elite. Even right now, I bet you right now, Eddie is pouring honey all over his belly. Okay. Can't wait to fly over to Florida to get the first Tate interview. He probably didn't even bother buying a ticket. He probably running there right now, all sweaty and got Diddy's baby oil ready and everything, man. I bet you. They just can't. I'm telling you, man. I bet you Eddie right now and like, oh, how do I get to Florida? 1 second, family. One second, family. Now watch this. Because they got to save face, right? Of course they got to save face. Nori goes, he goes, after Daniel sends his Doge email to Elon, he'll declare victory for Tate. Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. I bet you right now, Daniel, right now, I bet you he's probably writing down what he's going to say about this one. You'll see them all coming out. Look at Sister Tika. Daniel is going to talk about how this is a victory for the Muslims. Yeah. I promise you this is coming. I promise you this is coming, man. This is why we said there's no ambiguity anymore between who the enemy is and who is not. Because there's no hiding places anymore. It is crystal clear. It is crystal clear. And the reason why it's crystal clear is because the enemy made the ideology part and parcel with the personality. So now you can't hide. If you support certain people, we already know what you're about, which is better for us. It's better for us, the people who are upon the Quran and the Sunnah, the people who are following the religion under the methodology of the companions. It's so much better and easier for us because we don't even have to argue anymore. Why argue? You have that enemy, the enemy right there. You can either fight or flight. That's it. It's fight or flight. This piece is warfare. You get me? There are no more misunderstandings. Governor Ron DeSantis, y'all seen this one? I didn't share it. 1 second, y'all. Let me share this. Okay, Governor Ron DeSantis says Florida does not welcome Andrew and Tristan Tate after they are flying back from Romania. They have to say that. Do y'all know somebody by any chance when all of the hoopla last year was coming out about Project 2025 or Project 2025. Do you know somebody who distanced themselves from Project 2025? I don't know what that is. I don't know what Project 2025, Agenda 2025. I don't know what 2025 is. I don't know. You know somebody who was like that just on the day one to do exactly what was in the agenda by signing 200 executive orders in a single day? Y'all know somebody like that? This is what they do. All they do is lie. All they do is lie. And y'all go for it. People who cannot be believed, people who cannot be trusted, people who don't have a word they keep, people who don't have a treaty that they fulfill. These are the folks you're going to take their word for. Them folks. Anyways, let's keep watching here. No, Florida is not a place where let's watch a video. Let's watch a video, family. Let me just get this all up. I'm gonna make this a big screen for y'all. Watch this.
Is he welcome here? What the state do to send back to Romania or whatever?
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly,
the volume's low. Can we turn up the volume? I don't think so. But basically, he says we have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media.
The federal government has jurisdiction whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how.
He's saying basically Florida is not a place where you're welcome, right? If y'all can't hear it, because the sound is kind of low. At least on my end, it's kind of low, right? But that's what he's saying, right? What are you going to do about it, Ron DeSantis? you as much as you up in Trump's crack as much as anybody else. You are not opposing Trump in any no way, no how, right? You're going to toe the line and kiss the ring like everybody else. Every one of you, y'all people who basically, are ensuring the slow roast of what was formerly known as the United Snakes of America. Okay.
How it came to this, we were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
See, he's still trying to keep his base. That's all he's trying to do. But what's the point? Your base is no longer needed. Your base is no longer needed. Let's get this one up, family. Okay, we already saw that one. 1 second. Let's get this one. Now watch this, family. So, over here, Murder by Crayons again. Okay, Murder by Crayons again. Early this morning, I directed my office to work with our law enforcement partners to conduct a preliminary inquiry into these individuals. Okay, this is Attorney General. Okay, he is launching an inquiry to the Tates, right? Oh, did we go back? How did we end up back here? I'm not sure. 1 second, family. Let me pull this up. I don't know how we ended up back there. Okay. Attorney General, okay? This morning I directed Florida has zero tolerance for human trafficking. Not true. Okay. Florida, human trafficking since 1664. Okay. Not true. Okay. Absolutely not true. Okay. Florida was the single most biggest hub for slavery in the United States during the times of slavery. Okay. Don't believe the hype. Early this morning, I directed my office to work with the state law. Okay, hold on. Show more. What's this? It went back again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they're doing that. Maybe it's connecting to this link here. All right, let's get another one. 1 second, family. Look at this one, y'all. Is PR backstage, Mr. President? The optics on the Tate aren't looking too good. If he's mentioned, just bait it away. You'll say you'll look into it or something. I promise you, that's exactly what he's going to say. Okay, that is exactly what he is going to say. We'll look into it. We're looking into it. We'll look into it. You know how he does it. You know how he does it, family. 1 second, y'all. Let me just get the link in the chat if anybody wants to hop up in here. So, anyways, we were saying that this is possibly, somehow, in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. You're probably wondering, why would you even say something like that? That's not making any sense, right? We know that Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Tate, they're both human traffickers, right? At Jeffrey Epstein on a much larger scale, right? But essentially the job is pretty much the same. They have this business, they invite rich folk to enjoy the merchandise at their mansions and whatnot. They're similar to P. Diddy and whatever, right? But why would you say something about Jeffrey Epstein? Well, this is why, family. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all are not ready for this. Okay? So this came out today. Same day that Andrew Tate ended up in the United States. Okay? Are you ready? No, I don't think y'all are ready. Y'all ain't ready. This is Forbes magazine, family. Forbes wrote this. Forbes is pro-Trump, and they wrote this. Okay? Forbes is hardcore right-wing. It's not like don't think of the Forbes as an old Forbes type of financial magazine. It ain't that anymore. This is what they said. Trump's DOJ could release Jeffrey Epstein's files today, but to know as Phase 1 binders spotted. Did y'all catch that? What was supposed to be released today? Jeffrey Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein files. That was supposed to be released today. And surprise, surprise, conveniently, the Tates end up in Florida on the same day that the Jeffrey Epstein files are supposed to be released. But guess what? Not all the Jeffrey Epstein files. The Phase 1 Jeffrey Epstein files. Watch this, y'all. The Justice Department is expected to release documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. The Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying documents could include a lot of names. associated with the disgraced financier and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have pressured the DOJ to disclose documents related to the government's investigation into Epstein. Make sure, I hope y'all are sharing this now, because now we're getting to the real nitty gritty. Okay. This is why I believe that suddenly Andrew Tate ended up in Florida the same day that these files were supposed to be released. This is why I believe, or, a part of the big reason why Romania was pressured to send the Tates back to the United States. Because who do we know that was really good friends? They're really great friends. He's a really great guy, and he loves girls. He really likes to love. He really loves the young girls. Who do we know like this? Anybody know? Anybody have any guesses? Anybody have any ideas? Let's keep watching, y'all. As long as both sides have pressured the DOJ to disclose documents related to the government's investigations to Epstein. Bondi told Fox News Wednesday that the DOJ plans to release a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information related to Epstein, who has been accused of sexually abusing more than 100 women, including minors, teasing, I think tomorrow you're going to see the Epstein information being released by my office. Thank you, Sister Tika. That's what I believe this is all about. That's what I believe this is all about. Considered commentators were spotted at the White House early Thursday afternoon carrying binders labeled the Epstein Files Phase 1. Now, why would you have a Phase 1 to the Epstein Files? Does anybody have any idea why you would have a Phase 1 to the Epstein Files? Why would it be Phase 1, all this kind of stuff? Exactly, because of Donald Trump. That's why. Watch, family. Bondi comments follow lawmakers publicly pushing the DOJ to release Epstein files, with Representative Anna Paulina Luna, Republican Florida, asking Tuesday on X what the status of the Epstein documents was, and Senator Marsha Blackburn, a Republican Tennessee, sending a letter to Bondi and the FBI Director Kash Patel asking for documents to be promptly released. And allegedly, there's some news coming about Kash Patel today as well. But we have to basically fact check that. So I don't want to put that out there just yet. But if anybody has some some authenticated documents about Kash Patel, we'll just put it out there. You just send it in the chat. Democrats have also advocated. One second. Democrats have almost where are we? Advocated for information to be publicly made. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, tweeting Tuesday that Bondi still not releasing the Epstein files is weird. It raises questions on who she might be protecting. Well, we all know. We all know who she might be protecting. Okay. At the Senate Judiciary Committee, Democrats writing, Pam Bondi is sitting on the Epstein files right now. What are you waiting for? This is why we have Phase 1. Also sharing forward is Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell with, you guessed it, President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk, both of them. Are y'all seeing the play here? This is why we say, again, Anybody who's siding with these folks, promoting these folks, defending these folks, you can't consider them folks as difference of opinion. There's no more difference of opinion no more. Difference of opinion is long gone. These folks have been implementing outright strategies of war. They are absolutely hostile. So if you don't, so either it's like George Bush used to say, either you're with them or you're with terrorizers. And those are the strategies, family. Watch this, yo. Bondi said her office delay has been due to protecting information to Epstein's victims. Yeah, because we believe that. We really believe we're trying to protect Epstein's victims. But said Trump gave a directive for her to review the documents. Who gave her the directive? You can't tell me that Negro Damas is on fire, family. Y'all can't tell me that Negro Damas is on fire. It's unclear the documents will be released beyond flight logs reflecting travel on Epstein's private jet, many of which have already been made public in court filings. Though Blackburn requested a release of government's complete unredacted files on Epstein. What do they want? Complete unredacted files on Epstein, including surveillance footage from Epstein's Florida residence and any records in Maxwell's, that's Ghislaine Maxwell, possessions, including her little black book, allegedly containing contact information for Epstein's associates and victims, both. It's unclear why any documents, including those given to conservative commentators Thursday, will be publicly released. Up until now, I don't think they released it up until now. They said they're going to release it today. It is now 4:48. Maybe y'all can check on the news. If you get the news article where they've been released, send it in the chat, please, and we'll put it on live in real time. In real time, we'll put it up. The imminent release of the government documents related to Epstein has raised speculation it will include a client list. We already know what's going to include the client list. Of course it will, right? Of all high-profile Epstein associates that participated in his 6 crimes. It remains unclear what the documents the government has and how those could identify anyone being linked to Epstein. The journalist Julie K. Brown, who broke the story about Epstein's crimes for the Miami Herald, said on X Wednesday, "There is no Jeffrey Epstein client list, period. It's a figment of the internet's imagination, and it means just slander. It means to just slander people." FBI official who worked on the case had told Brown, "There's no evidence that Epstein kept a list of clients involved in the alleged trafficking operation." Yeah, all right. Because we all know that just randos end up at Jeffrey Epstein's island. Just randos. Jeffrey Epstein got a whole painting of Bill Clinton in a dress. But he's not going to have no client list, family. Like I keep saying, if y'all believe that, then I got some wet water to sell y'all. So y'all is some tripping Negroes. 1 second, family. Let me put this up here. One second, family. Let me get this link here. There we go. So Sister Tika, she put it in the chat. It says, according to News Nation, Epstein files released to conservative influencers. I'm not sure why I consider influencers, but the files are said to include flight logs, names, and associates. Epstein was accused of sex trafficking minors. A number of high-profile individuals were named in previous files. This is in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is the real reason why all the Tate things started coming out today. That's my opinion. Because we've seen a whole lot of, if y'all been watching the news, we've seen a whole lot of stuff coming out about the Tates all over social media, but we haven't seen the Epstein stuff. And to me, the Epstein stuff is way more significant. But because this is how the devil, how they work. This is truly devil's work here, right? So there's Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, what does it say now? The department just released files regarding Jeffrey Epstein to a small group of conservative influencers Thursday. It's not clear if these files will be released to the press. Oh my gosh. Okay. That means it hasn't been released to the press? What? If this has not been released to the press, family, like what in the world? By the way, we gave this list to conservative influencers, but it's not going to be released to the press. Like what? Anyways, let's keep reading. This is the first time I'm reading this, okay? Good. It's not clear if they will be released to the press or more broadly if they will be available to the for public access. What public access to the public? What are you talking about? President Donald Trump signed an executive order early in his second term ordering the release of the files along with classified documents related to the assassination of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. Okay? Like what? What is going on here? The group of individuals was seen leaving the White House with binders labeled Epstein Files, Phase 1. This is crazy, family. This is so crazy. Anyways, Attorney General Pam Bondi teased the release of the files earlier in the day and saying that they were things included in them that will make people sick. Like what? Like sending Andrew Tate to the States on the taxpayer's dime? Like, dang, man. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, Republican Florida, who is heading a task force on government transparency, said her group was not given the documents and criticized the administration for limited release. Man, who are these influencers that has this stuff, man? That is crazy, man. 1 second. So you bypass all the media networks to give it to influencers? Let me see if we can find it here. 1 second, y'all. No, it's not even coming up. 1 second. Just like nothing, no information at all. Is this real? This is because she got another one. Let's see if I can pull that one up. No, this is the same one we were reading earlier. So We don't need that one. That was from the Forbes. We were reading that one before, so we'll leave that. We'll continue with this article here. 1 second, family. Okay. Some Jeffrey Epstein associates identified in unsealed documents. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for. Get us information we asked for instead of leaked old info to the press. Okay. And we all start going into just charges and stuff. Man, this is some crazy stuff, man. But that's my opinion. I want to know what y'all think. My opinion is that's the reason why all this Tate stuff came out today is because of the Epstein stuff. That's the relation. Donald Trump, he himself, he loves to be in close proximity of human traffickers and world-class pimps and stuff. He does that stuff. That's who he is at the core. But anyway, family, we're going to call it there, inshallah. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Patreon. And make sure if you haven't liked the video, make sure you share. This is some crazy stuff, as you can see. And we will see y'all later, inshallah. And free the land, beloved, free the land, free the land. May Allah reward you and bless you all. And